It's a great day to be on the hilltop. Welcome, Mustang and Mustang fans. Pleased to welcome our platform party on my right, Athletics Director Steve Orsini. To his left, Coach Larry Brown, and the person I welcome to the microphone, our 10th president, Dr. R. Gerald Turner.
Thank you, Brad. It's great to see all of you out here on such a beautiful day. It's a great day to make an announcement in front of Moody Coliseum, and we're delighted that you could be here with us. We're also pleased to have a number of our Board of Trustees that are with us for this occasion. First is, if you'd stand, remain standing, David Miller, would you please stand? Paul Lloyd, Mark Craig, Brad Brookshire, any other board members that I didn't see walking through here. Thank all of you for being here. As all of you know, this event comes on the heels of a great Founders Day weekend, and really Founders Day week, in which we broke ground for the new residential commons complex just south of here and celebrated the growth of our entire South Campus, including in that Moody Coliseum. In fact, the renovation and expansion of Moody is our first move toward competitiveness in the Big East. But renovation and expansion of Moody will begin in August. The construction you see around us right now is preparation for that project, but highlights include a renovated main entry lobby, a much larger and brighter concourse with raised ceilings, a north side expansion including a club, loge boxes, private group suites, as well as office and meeting spaces. And all of this is to be completed just in time for our first Big East game in January of 2014. So those are all that's to be finished by January of 2014. It was the success of our football program under June Jones that gave us the opportunity to join the Big East Conference. June Jones, where are you here? To my right. All right, back here. Thank you, June. Three years, 3 bowl games got the attention of those looking for expansion opportunities for the Big East. Everybody knows, however, how seriously basketball is played in this conference. We pledged at the time that we would be joining that we would make our program competitive with our fellow members of the Big East. The announcement last week of our new head basketball coach should remove any doubt as to our determination to be among the leaders of the Big East. So now to introduce our newest Mustang is Athletic Director Steve Orsini.
Thank you, President Turner. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Isn't it a great day to be a Mustang? Before I introduce our really special guests, there's a few other special guests I'd like to recognize. Most importantly, some of our basketball student athletes are right here. They're the recipients of the teaching that'll take place on the court. Thank you for being here. The others are in class, as they should be. Yeah, exactly. Our head women's basketball coach, Rhonda Rumpole, is here. Rhonda, thanks for being here. Coach Brown invited a close friend and a close friend of ours, Coach Doherty. Coach Doherty, thank you for being here. And another close friend of Coach Brown and Coach Self, Bill Self from Kansas. Thank you for being here, Coach Self. I really appreciate it. It is a special honor for me to be here today to talk about the process a little bit because there's a great story to be told here. If you remember when we went after a football coach and Dr. Turner aptly recognized Coach Jones and what he's meant to this university, we said, let's follow that same process. Now, if I want to remind you, it was a very deliberate, a very comprehensive process that took us 71 days. I'd like to think they were the best 71 days we've spent in SMU athletics in a long time, and to get that results. Well, I may have refined that a little bit because it took us 37 days to get what I feel is the June Jones for men's basketball in Coach Brown. We set our goal high, very high, because SMU strives for excellence in everything it does. We found an unbelievable amount of interest in our job. And even I thought it'd take a while to make sure we get this right. As we kept telling ourselves, we got to get this right. I wanted to make sure I talked to everybody, from Coach Self, Coach Calipari, and the many other people that are in Coach Brown's coaching tree. I learned a lot of new terms today, during this process, and what I was so impressed was the connections of college basketball, not to mention the NBA, and Coach Brown. They've been well documented. But we did narrow the field down, and I believe we absolutely hit our mark in the Hall of Fame basketball coach in Coach Larry Brown. We were never rejected by anyone. We made one offer, and we got one acceptance. And I think that's important that you know that, because that's what SMU deserves. That recognizes, that states what SMU's value is out there in the athletics community. And because we have a great university, we have a great city. We're going into the Big East, which represents the best in college athletics. We have the Crum Basketball Center. We have the Moody Coliseum and its renovations. We have a great location in the middle of a recruiting hotbed in the North Texas and region of this country. And now we have Coach Brown. We have everything in place now that's necessary to become a top 25 program, except one thing. We need to make Moody madness. We need you. We need the students. We need the faculty. We need the staff. We need the community to come out, the alumni to come out and support our efforts to take SMU basketball back to the top 25 status that we've been in the past and well beyond that. So without any further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce one of the greatest college basketball coaches and pro basketball coaches in the history of the game, Coach Larry Brown.
Thank you. God, this is new for me. I feel like I'm at graduation and somebody asked me to speak to the class, but I never was smart enough to have that opportunity. So I'm thrilled to be here. I can't tell you. I've fallen in love with this game. When I was growing up, I wanted to be an American history teacher and coach baseball, basketball, and football on a high school level. And I never expected my life to turn out this way. When I was assistant at North Carolina for Coach Smith, he asked me early in my career what I wanted to do, what college may I want to coach at. Naturally, you want to go back and coach at your alma mater, but I didn't ever want to see anybody replace him. But I told him I wouldn't mind going to a school like Stanford or Princeton or Northwestern or Vanderbilt, or a great school academically that was in a great conference, that I had a chance to compete for a national championship with high-type kids. Well, I never realized at 71 this opportunity would present itself, because I think everything I thought about then is right here in place here. I'm aware of the school. I even played at Moody Coliseum a long, long time ago in the old ABA. A lot of you were twinkles in your mama's eye, but it hadn't changed a lot, and I kind of like that. But what a home court advantage. What a great place to play. I get scared every time I mention Cameron because that's at a school I don't feel any connection with. But it's the same kind of facility, and they fill it every night, play quality basketball with quality student athletes, and I'm hopeful we can do the same thing. I've been blessed. I've played for the greatest coaches of all time. I've been able to coach some of the greatest players to ever play the game, and the coaches that have coached with me have been the most loyal and great people I could ever imagine, and now, just like Bill, they're doing unbelievable things at great spots. So I can't promise you wins and losses. I have no idea about that, but I get the feeling if we prepare a lot, if we do the right things, if we coach kids up, we're going to be able to put a good group on the court that's going to give us a chance to be successful. I heard Steve talk about this process about how they selected a coach. I hope he got a message from God late that he decided maybe I was the right one. And I don't care if I was a second, third, or fourth choice. I couldn't be at a better spot at a time in my life than right here. The other thing, and I'm gonna end pretty quickly, but for 30 days, I become a great pen pal of June Jones. He called me every day, text me. I'm just learning how to text. And I think I'm gonna have to really get proficient in that. But he called me every day, never to give up. He said, this thing's gonna turn around. You know, you're gonna be here and things are gonna work the right way. Well, I'm a big football fan. I'm a big June Jones fan. And I hope that I can follow in his footsteps and continue to make this program grow where people are proud of us all over the country. And I don't take this opportunity lightly. I know how important this hire was to this university. President Turner talked to me about what he expects and what he wants, and I think we're on the same page. He wants excellence in academics and excellence in athletics. And we are going into the Big East. I live in Villanova. The competition there is amazing. But walking around this campus, if we can get a kid to visit here, I can't imagine him going anywhere else. So, last thing, you don't do anything by yourself. You know, the thing I love about basketball, if it's played the right way, it's the greatest game in the world to watch. But it gets awful ugly if a bunch of individuals go in different directions. But we can't do this alone. We're going to need everybody's help. Coach, I'm going to be in your office every day. I'm going to pick your brain, and if you can help me, I'm fine. I know Matt had a great relationship with you, and I hope to continue that. But all of you, we need people in the stands. I don't want you to come to a game if you think we're not doing things the right way. But I hope you'll see that, and I hope you'll support us, because, you know, I want this to be special for everybody. Thanks so much.
So at this time, we're going to take a few questions from our credentialed media. Coach Brown obviously is available for questions, as is Dr. Turner and Athletics Director Orsini. And so the first question to Kate Haropoulos of the Dallas Morning News.
Hi, Coach Brown. How are you?
I'm nervous.
You've done this a time or two before. I think your contract is for 5 years. How long do you see yourself staying here?
Well, Coach Schellenberger, I think is his name, is like 85, and he's still going strong. So, you know, when I look in the mirror, I get kind of scared. But inside, you know, I feel like I could do this forever. I never worked a day in my life. You know, this has been a labor of love for me. So, you know, I hope to be here for a while, and I hope to do a great job.
Let's take the second question from M. Body of the Daily Campus of Southern Methodist University.
Hi, Coach Brown. Welcome to the Hilltop. What type of offense and type of basketball do you expect to install here once you get going?
Wow. Have you ever coached? First we got to see what our players can do. I think a responsibility of a coaching staff is to put kids in a position they can be successful. My background, I played for Dean Smith, Frank McGuire, Mr. Iba, John McClendon, a lot of people that have influenced me. I'm not an innovator like Bill. I pick his brain and he comes up with ideas, but I want to play fast if we're better. I want long athletic kids that want to guard. I want to get every loose ball that's on the ground. I can't play in multiple defenses because I don't feel comfortable teaching that, so we'll be man-to-man and we'll pick you up in the airport. The game is changing a lot. I would hope we'd play a style of play that if I walked in a parent's home, they say, I want to play for him. I want to go to SMU. So we'll figure it out.
Next question, any media, any questions? Right here. If you just identify yourself to Coach.
Jacques Taylor, ESPN Dallas. Larry, who's on your staff, and is Tim Jankovic is the coach in waiting? How did that come to, and how are you going to work that out?
Well, I don't know if he's in waiting right now. He's out recruiting somewhere, but we'll have a great staff. I've had about 1,000 calls from people that want a job here, so I'm confident that we'll surround ourselves with people that can teach and represent this school well, and I feel pretty good about that. I asked Bill to come with me after I did ask Matt. Matt wanted to go back to North Carolina, but Bill's got a pretty good job. So, but I think we'll be okay. We have to identify ourselves in Texas. When I was at Kansas, we'd come down here and we didn't have a lot of success. But I see other people coming here and having some success. But I think there's enough players that are close enough where I'd love to be a presence for our university in this area. And that's really going to be important. I just think it's kind of neat for a parent and family to come see a kid's play without getting on a plane. So we're going to do everything we can to satisfy that with our staff as well.
Next question. Just identify yourself, please.
Ponyfans.com. Coach, there were reports out that you expressed initial interest. What initially made the job attractive to you? And once the conversations with SMU started, was it more a matter of you selling yourself to the school or Steve Orsini selling the job to you?
I can write a book on this whole process. He said 37 days. Well, someday we'll get into that one. But I want to coach. I've always loved it. The relationships I've been able to get from this process has been amazing. Think about it. I went and met with the team this morning, and I kind of told them a little of my background and who I played for and who I was connected with. And I mentioned Frank McGuire. They were brain dead. They didn't even know who he was. And I had to remind them he's in the Hall of Fame. They won the national championship in 1957. He coached Will Chamberlain, who averaged 50 points a game and played all but 8 minutes in a whole season. I talked about John McClendon. They didn't even know who he was. And John McClendon was the first black student to go to the University of Kansas, and he learned under James Naismith. And I didn't want to ask him who James Naismith was. Then I would have gotten mad at you, President. But I did kind of explain about John McClendon. Then I told him about Mr. Iba. Had no clue about Henry Iba. And then Matt jumped up and said, Gallagher Iba Arena. So then they figured, oh, that must be somebody. So I told them a little bit about them, and then I talked about Coach Smith. They had a little understanding about him. But the bottom line is, I want, because I've been touched by them, to continue to teach the things that they valued. I think that's why Bill coaches, that's why Matt coaches. That's what I'm about. I got so much stuff in my mind that I want to share with other people because of the relationship I had with them. So that's why I was interested in getting back. And just like I said, when I was 25 years old, talking about what I wanted to do as a college coach and where I wanted to go, SMU fits that. So here I am. We're going in the Big East. We got a great school, and I'm anxious to get started. Thank you.
Another question? Rich Phillips.
Coach, why, after 24 years, you come back to the college game, and what do you think's changed about the college level since you were here last?
Well, texting. I've been on the phone. I mean, it's a lot different. You know, in the NBA, Rolando, I tried to draft him, you know, and that was a little different. Now I could have recruited him, so it's different. But I just think being a college coach, you're really a teacher, and that's something I really love to do. I don't love games. I'm always a little nervous about a game because maybe we didn't prepare our team for everything that might happen. But I love practice. I love practice. I'm talking about, I love practice. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't have to explain that one. But I miss being around kids, being around coaches. When I was at UCLA, I camped out before games because kids were fighting to get in the arena. When I was at KU, we used to eat pizza and coffee waiting for a game with the student body. I miss that. I want to be involved. I want to be at June's practices. I want to be at every event I can be. And, you know, this gives me that opportunity. So I guess that's why after all these years, I've lost track, really. But I want to be right where I am.
So, Coach is going to be available. Thanks, Coach. The coach is going to be available to the media on a media avail basis right after the conclusion of these proceedings. And to do that, we welcome back to the podium President R. Gerald Turner.
Thank you, Brad, and thank all of you for coming out to greet Coach Brown as he joins the SMU Mustangs. Obviously, a lot of people have been calling, wanting tickets to get started next year because we intend to have Moody packed by the time we get it finished, and so the athletic department has the ticket window open after this is over with. And Brad Cheeves has the contributions plate for the renovation of Moody available as we finish this up also. The planes you've been hearing buzz around, if you hadn't noticed it, they're carrying trailers that say, "Welcome to town, Larry Brown," and that's exactly what we agree. Welcome to town, Larry Brown, and go Mustangs!